how is it understandable that President Biden is inviting 50 African heads of state to the U.S. who will spend almost $50 million each, and he doesn't have 5 minutes to spend with each of them? He won't have any one-on-one with any of those African presidents who are coming here in countries where money is already a big problem. Why not have this meeting on Zoom, for instance? You know, and so I ask questions about COVID. How do you explain that 1 million people, if we have to go by the official figures, 1 million Americans were killed by COVID, and we don't know where COVID came? You lied to us. You told us the COVID came from bat to human, and then now we understand that it probably came from the lab, and that's the most consequential question. And she wouldn't even allow Diana from, Daily Caller to ask that question. And
Amazing.
When I intervene and say that, no, you need to allow her to ask the question, I'm being blacklisted, and it's unfortunate, it's disgraceful. I'm the voice of Africa in the U.S., but I can confirm that the level of discrimination against me and against African journalists in the White House, it's outstanding, it's disgraceful. It's been 3 months that we don't have questions at the White House. Even as President Biden is about to receive 50 African heads of state in D.C. for the U.S.-African Summit, she didn't even give us even a single question. I've been trying for the past 3 months. And, it's shocking because she's black. She's an immigrant. I'm black. I'm also an immigrant. And she's discriminating against me more than the white people the white
Yes.
lady who was there before. And it's shocking. She should be ashamed of herself.
She really dislikes a specific reporter from Africa. His name is Simon Atiba. He works with Today News. He's had a lot of hostile encounters with Karine Jean-Pierre for some reason. Yesterday, she freaked out on him and stormed out of the press conference, ending it early. We kept track of this weird psychodrama going on. Here are some clips from it.
She's asking about the origin of COVID-19.
I hear the question.
And Dr. Fauci is the best person to answer that question.
I hear your question, but we're not doing this the way you want it. This is the disrespectful. It is. I'm done. Simon, I'm done. Simon, I'm done. I'm done with you right now.
So what's the difference between President Trump not doing anything while the Capitol was being attacked and President Biden not doing anything while protesters, while the Supreme Court justices were under attack?
To say that there is no difference, that is just unbelievably wrong.
But is it concerned that Supreme Court justice
I'm moving on. I'm moving on.
You don't give us questions.
Okay. I'm trying to answer your question. Go ahead, sir. Go ahead. I just tried. You wouldn't let me. Go ahead.
I had 2 quick questions.
No, but can
I just tried, and you would not let me, sir. So your colleague is going to ask a question. Go ahead.
Let me ask you a question.
No, I literally just tried to answer your question. You shut me down. So now your colleague is going to.
Let me ask the question first before you answer.
Okay. Thanks, everybody. I'll see you tomorrow.
Question on the respect for marriage?
It's a good thing she's unarmed, or Simon Atiba would be in deep trouble. He's his correspondent for Today News Africa, and obviously kind of a hero. He joins us tonight. Simon, thank you so much for coming on. Wait, you can feel it watching that tape. She is mad at you. Why do you think that is?
Yes, first of all, thank you, Tucker, for having me on your show. There's a reason why your show is the most watched show in news in the U.S., because you bring people like me. It's been a disaster, a total catastrophe, a real nightmare covering the Biden White House. Right now, I'm the voice of Africa in the U.S., but I can confirm that the level of discrimination against me and against African journalists in the White House, it's outstanding, it's disgraceful. It's been 3 months that we don't have questions at the White House. Even as President Biden is about to receive 50 African heads of state in D.C. for the U.S.-African Summit, she didn't even give us even a single question. I've been trying for the past 3 months. And, it's shocking because she's black. She's an immigrant. I'm black. I'm also an immigrant. And she's discriminating against me more than the white people the white
Yes.
lady who was there before. And it's shocking. She should be ashamed of herself for doing that. And it's heartbreaking.
She's obviously a bigot. You can see it in her face. She really, really dislikes you. Do you suppose it's because you don't have the same views that someone who looks like you should have, in her opinion?
Yes, so I believe that has to do maybe with 2 or 3 things. The first thing, I sound different. I wasn't born here. I was born in Cameroon. I speak French. I speak different languages. I don't have the American accent. I tried, I failed, and I've decided to stick with my accent. So I'm an immigrant, and she doesn't like that. And I asked tough questions. For instance, I will ask her.
Well, you are always welcome on this show, and I suspect we will see you again. Simon and Tiba, thank you so much. We're on your side.
So let's talk about how Africans are treated in the United States of America when they move out there. You know, Africans, first of all, starting with the presidents, our presidents are not respected. Remember what happened in the Italy summit. Our African heads of state were loaded into buses, just like school children being taken to school. Remember how it was like when the Queen Elizabeth died. Africans were put into buses. African leaders, not just Africans, Africans heads of state were loaded into buses, just like school children. And the problem is not that African leaders were loaded into buses just like school children. The problem is in the hypocrisy. The problem is in the inferiority and superiority complex that the white people have towards Africans, you know. First of all, the African leaders, you know, the presidents of Africa are not respected at all. The same way these people respect those other those other presidents from those other white countries, you know. White presidents are given the utmost respect. Those white leaders, leaders from the United States, leaders from European countries, leaders from Asia, were treated with dignity. They were given special convoy. But African leaders, it was not the same way. This same thing happened in Italy. And also I said it starts with the president. It starts from top going to bottom. The second one is with the journalists, you know. African journalists are not given priority. African journalists are not respected at all by fellow Africans, by those white people over there, by fellow journalists over there. You know, it's very hypocritical. It's very insane. You see how these white journalists come to Africa and they interview people like Museveni. They interview people like Paul Mugabe. They interview people like these presidents, Yoweri Museveni, William Ruto, Cyril Ramaphosa, Julius Malema, Naledi Pandor. We give them the utmost respect when they move to Africa and they ask for an interview. We give these journalists respect. I wonder if an African journalist can sit down with Joe Biden and talk with Joe Biden and ask Joe Biden the matters of USA and tell Joe Biden what you are doing is wrong to the people of the United States. Why are you enforcing gayism on the people of the United States? No, it can never happen. This can only happen in our dreams, not in our lifetime. It can't happen at all right now, you know. This is a problem that we need to look close into. This is a problem that Africans need to be aware. There's no way they would want us to respect them, and they don't respect us. First of all, there's this white secretary in the United States of America. You've seen how she's treated Simon. Simon is a young, Simon is an intelligent journalist who is representing the African journalists in the United States of America. But he's not given respect at all. And the person who is forcing this is a fellow African. How much of a problem is Stockholm Syndrome? Stockholm Syndrome is a very huge problem, you know. Africans should realize that if we don't love one another, we won't expect someone else to come and appreciate us. There's no way we can command respect from other people while ourselves we don't respect one another. Whatever this lady did over here, she did the wrong thing. She did the wrong thing. Africans should come together and work together, you know. Simon is against gayism. Gayism is not a tradition of Africa. Gayism is not a way of life for majority of Africans. It's not our thing. It's something that was borrowed from the outside. Nobody's born gay, according to me. Nobody's born gay. The Bible says he made them man and woman. He did not make them gay and lesbian. He did not make them transgender. The mighty Lord does not make mistakes. He does not make mistakes when it comes to gender. I know some of you might get hurt with this, but it's true. We only have 2 genders. We don't have binary, I don't know what, male and female. He made them man and woman. And when Simon is busy educating our sister and enlightening her with the truth, sister was very angry. She did not want to be enlightened with the truth. And so she thought of, cursing at Simon, not answering her questions. And this is a reflection of how Africans, we might be so bad against one another, how we might be arrogant. I think we should come together and work together. We should share the same interest. That is what I think of. And you, as an African American, as an African, don't lose your value because of some other African who has been corrupted by Stockholm Syndrome. So that's all for today. Catch up on the next video. For now, kindly subscribe to the channel. Don't forget to subscribe. Yeah. So see you in the next video.